Virat Kohli waiting for a Virat knock in tests. Virat, of course, in the Hindi language means massive, the kind of knock that he's been looking for in the longest format for a while now. The last big one came in a match last year against the mighty Aussies in the huge Ahmedabad stadium. But that was just one spike in an otherwise very quiet calendar years for Virat in the test format at least. If you strictly look at just the hundreds column, that is, Virat means hunger for runs. And with that not really coming about in truckloads, the questions have started pouring in. Where is Virat's mojo? The series that's starting tomorrow is an all-important one. India against New Zealand. It kicks off with the first test in Bengaluru. Up for grabs are crucial points in the race for the World Test Championship final. So this test is huge, and someone who faces a stern test within this matchup is Virat Kohli, for whom domination has always been essential. And one of the first things Gautam Gambhir, the new head coach of the Indian setup, had to talk about is Virat Kohli still hungry for runs?
My thoughts about Virat has always been very clear, that he is a world-class cricketer. He is as hungry as when he made his debut. We know that once he gets into that run scoring, how consistent can he be? So I'm sure he will be looking for these 3 test matches and the series in Australia.
Now, there are many things I love about that answer. The most obvious one first, it's the right answer. There's no way a coach is going to let his players down. Not that it hasn't happened in the past. And many would obviously think Gambhir, being frank and outspoken like he is, would take the bait, was sadly mistaken. The other thing, of course, is just what an exciting relationship this one is turning out to be. The one between Gautam Gambhir and Virat Kohli. 2 very strong personalities in that Indian dressing room. Now, we've seen them be like that, sniping at each other, ready to get into a fist fight, waiting to pull each other apart, with no care in the world or concern to who's watching, to then polite smiles. That one, of course, the one that's coming up, was earlier the year when the rumour mills were rife with the possibility of Gambhir taking up the Indian job. So we felt all right, they are just doing these pleasantries, just laying the foundation for no bad blood, an olive branch. But it turned into something rather special as the days went on. This image, for instance, was taken during the test against Bangladesh, when the Bangladeshi pacer Hassan Mahmood had dismantled the top order. That's Virat, and looks like he's just got back scoring a ton. But no, it was not a good outing for him, and yet he's seen there having a laugh with none other than Gambhir. They were trolled for that, but I personally loved it. Nothing beats an environment where you can smile even after a bad day. And if someone can do that to you, then you've got, especially after you've had a terrible day, make sure you keep them around. But coming back to the new pair who's smothering us with all the newfound love and camaraderie, the picture that, of course, broke the internet was when India fought back to force a result and get that whitewash over Bangladesh. It was the one where Virat and Gambhir hugged each other, and what was a warm moment that got the internet crazy. This is what a positive dressing room looks like. So when everyone asked Gambhir about Virat Kohli, whether he was hungry for runs, whether he still had it in him, they didn't have to go too far. But observe the man at what is practically his home now. For close to 18 years, Bengaluru, it's probably more of a home now than Delhi ever would be. Virat took all his time knocking at the nets, even ran over to another empty net to occupy it before anyone else could, once he was asked to wrap up from his own. He took his time with all the youngsters who were queuing up to chat with him after the session, gave his undivided time and attention, almost took me back to the time he spends in Bengaluru during the Indian Premier League. It's almost second nature, and he probably feels it too. They say it's good to go back to a place that you call home to get inspired, to get back to regular programming, as they say, and maybe that's what Virat is hoping for. Some good old home ground advantage in the actual sense.
Firstpost decodes the U.S. election, explains how America chooses its president, your primer on the race to the White House, everything you need to know about how America votes and its global implications. U.S. Election Explained, every Monday and Thursday only on Firstpost.